Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to our read-along of Frank Herbert's novel Dune. Had a little bit of a gap there in our reading of this book, but we want to finish before the end of the year. And thanks to Joshua Crabo, there is a playlist out there. I had to look it up myself. Just you type in Steve Donahue Dune 2024 playlist, you'll get it. To bring us up to speed, because I still don't know how to make playlists. I was on the list in my mind for David Murphy to get to teach me how to do it while he was here, but we got to so many other things. There's so many things on that list that I never got around to it. But it's not going to matter when these things are all lined up in a playlist. You're not going to notice a gap of time. As we are going through this chapter by chapter. Now, this book doesn't have numbered chapters, but it has chapter-length installments, so we're going to do that. And we're going to pick up where we left off, which is the shattered remnants of House Atreides. House Atreides was ordered by the Emperor to move to Dune and take it over as a fiefdom, ousting House Harkonnen, and House Harkonnen did not intend to go quietly and was in cahoots with the Emperor to destroy House Atreides, and they succeed. They plant a traitor in House Atreides, and also the troops of House Harkonnen have help from legions of the Emperor's Imperial Sardaukar, his super soldiers. And it works. Duke Leto Atreides is killed, and all of his people are scattered to the winds. We have known all of these people. All the supporting cast of characters in this book, aside from the people that they meet on Dune, are relatives or retainers of the Duke. So now it's just a question of what will happen to them. What will happen to all of those retainers? The master swordsman, Duncan Idaho, seems to die covering the rear of the Lady Jessica, the Duke's consort, and young Paul Atreides, his son and heir. Duncan Idaho seems to die, and he is out of the action of this story. The reason that I say seems is a little nod to all of you who have read the other Dune books, because when it comes to the subsequent fate of Atreides' retainers, well, there's all the others, and then there's Duncan Idaho, who's in a class of his own. But we don't have to worry about that in this book. But there are others. There's Thufir Hawat, his master assassin, his assassin Mentat. In this future world, thinking machines, AI assisted stuff like that is absolutely forbidden. And so a whole class of humans have been engineered that can do computing functions. They are called Mentats. And Thufir Hawat was the Duke's Mentat, and he is not killed when the Harkonnens overthrow House Atreides. Virtually nobody is killed except the Duke, but all the others are scattered to the winds. So we need to learn the subsequent fate of Thufir Hawat. We learn the subsequent fate of Duncan Idaho, and also Gurney Halleck, who's another of the Duke's war masters and also a troubadour. He and Duncan Idaho and Thufir Hawat have been responsible for young Paul's elite training in all kinds of martial arts, swordsmanship and tactics and strategy, which has allowed him to survive, he and his mother. She has also been training him in the ways of the Bene Gesserit, the all-female adept group of which she is a member, and which has weird bodily abilities of their own. They're amazing bodily control. They have a tonal control thing they call the voice with a capital V, that can insinuate itself around the decision centers of a person once you've got their register, and largely control them if they're not prepared for it or in some way. And also physical abilities and mental abilities that Jessica has been teaching to young Paul. Partially on her own and partially under the supervision of the Bene Gesserit themselves, who are wondering if maybe Paul is one step closer to their plan for a Kwisatz Haderach, a male Bene Gesserit, a man who has the mental and memory abilities of a full-blooded Reverend Mother in the Bene Gesserit. They haven't achieved the Kwisatz Haderach yet, and the Bene Gesserit are certain that when they do, he will be under their control. It's easy to say, it would be accurate to say, although reductive, that this whole book is about, be careful what you wish for. This whole book is about what happens if the Kwisatz Haderach happens when the Bene Gesserit is not expecting, and they don't control him. Well, then what happens? Then what's been unleashed on the world? But for now, at least in this chapter that we're reading today, the chapter that we're looking at today starts off predictive. This will predict the subject matter of the chapter with, "So you're the great Gurney Halleck," the man said, because now we're catching up on Gurney Halleck, who has survived with a handful of men, 70-something men, Atreides men, and they are out in the wilderness, and they are just trying to live. They don't know what they're going to do from one minute to the next. Thufir Hawat was in the same position. They don't know what they're going to do from one minute to the next. They don't know how they're going to survive. And they're under Gurney's care. He is their commander. They've heard all sorts of rumors. All sorts of rumors are flying in the wake of this strike by House Harkonnen, which has now taken over the planet again, keep in mind. All sorts of rumors are flying. The bedrock rumor of them all is the one that I think Gurney probably believes the most, which is that the Duke is dead. But there are also rumors that the young Duke, Paul, is not dead. And also rumors that Gurney finds himself in this chapter in the company of smugglers, including the son of a smuggler that we met in the famous dinner scene that we read together a million years ago. He finds himself in the company of smugglers, and they present him with another rumor, also flying all around the planet, which is that there were Sardaukar soldiers mixed in with the Harkonnens in Harkonnen livery, and that they were key in the victory. Because even caught by surprise, I'm not 100% sure that the Atreides men couldn't have won against just Harkonnen soldiers. But against Harkonnens plus the Emperor's elite soldiers, who, keep in mind, at this point in the book, have an unsullied reputation as the greatest fighters in the galaxy. Some attentive readers of this book the first time through are thinking, is that true? We've already seen. That's not true. That's not true. The native inhabitants of the planet Arrakis, the Fremen, are easily better fighters than the trained Sardaukar, just because of the harshness of their environment and the military stoic nature of their little bands, the way they live out in the wilderness. But Gurney has fallen in with smugglers who have told him of that rumor. They've told him of other rumors. And this smuggler, the leader, wants to know, what are you going to do? You're not my prisoner. What are you going to do? If you want to sign up with us, well, we can certainly use good fighting men, especially in untroubled times, in troubled times like this. Gurney isn't quite himself. We don't know how long it's been since he slept. He is distraught. He is grieving. And at first, he bounces all around in this chapter saying, well, my men, I release them from any bond that they have towards me. And the smuggler says, are you absolutely sure you want to do that? Remember, your words mean a lot, and they'll follow you. Are you absolutely sure you want to cut them loose? Gurney wavers on that point, backwards and forwards, eventually deciding, well, I'll see if they want to follow me, and we'll all join you together. All 70-something of us join you together. But the smugglers naturally have an option for Gurney Halleck. They have an offer, which is to go off-world. Seems like the most natural thing in the world, right? That if your Duke has been defeated and killed, if your house has been scattered to the wind, and you've got a fighting party, you might want to leave Arrakis. It's the last place in the world you would want to be. Not for Gurney. He wants revenge against the Harkonnens. He always has. Now he wants it even more. So he's not leaving. He's staying to kill Harkonnens, especially one particular Harkonnen, the Beast Rabban, a nephew of Vladimir Harkonnen, the head of House Harkonnen, who Gurney particularly hates. And that's the gist of this chapter. It's another chapter that is all just a conversation. Nothing happens in it other than Gurney and the head of this band of smugglers. Smugglers have an ironclad grip on Dune. They are everywhere, and they cannot. No ruling body tends to want to hunt them out because they do a lot of useful things. It's a conversation between Gurney and the leader of the smugglers band as to what Gurney is going to do. And its main purpose, of course, Gurney latching onto smugglers and then deciding what he wants to do. In other words, stay on Arrakis and work with the smugglers resisting the Harkonnen. That can be summed up in one half of one sentence, spoken in dialogue by someone else in some other chapter, right? So technically you don't need this chapter. The point of this chapter is to let you know that Gurney is alive, and reacquaint you with what he's going to be like facing this new reality. That's the purpose of all these picking up the pieces chapters. So that is our chapter for today. It's the one that starts off with, so you're the great Gurney Halleck, and we will move on from there. So I'll wrap this up for now, and we will move on to see what's going to happen next time. Thank you, BookTube.